You know what's neat about the Columbia now, something that we've never really noticed before, or maybe it wasn't this way before, and that's daytime fishing on the Columbia. We've always promoted it. You come out when the sun goes down, you stay till midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning. But you and Dom have been out, and you've actually been plugging lots of fish in the daytime.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a proven technique using the sinking tip line, and one of our proven flies that work really well. So you come out about 2 p.m. and fish right till the fish start rising on top.
2 a.m. You can go from 2 p.m. right through to 2 a.m. do the whole thing here. Wow. Yeah. So while you're waiting for the fish to start rising on top, during the day, you catch them down below. So what are you using, emergers obviously? Or
a merger type pattern. Yeah, I really don't want to give that secret away just yet. It's pretty new, but it seems to be working really well.
Okay, well we're going to go out there and see if we can give the secret away and catch a fish.
Okay.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by G. Loomis. Quality graphite fly rods. You will like what you feel. And by Islander Reels. High-performance precision fly reels, Canadian made. And by Outcast, makers of well-designed, well-constructed pontoon boats.
Just a little guy to start, but you know, the big secret out here is when it gets a little later on. The fish all move out in the heavy seam. You know, a lot of guys will fish the calm water and the foam lines, and there's fish everywhere, but they're very finicky. You gotta go with a real small fly. And when a fish starts feeding out in the fast water, if you put the fly in front of the fish, he's gonna take it almost every time. It's just outstanding. It's pretty early on right now. It hasn't even gotten, no, it hasn't even gotten dark and I just lost it. Dwayne, man, I lost him.
There's more. There's more.
Sorry about that. Oh, okay. It wasn't a huge one, decent size. Yeah. But you know what? There's a lot more yet. It's still early. We just got out here.
Yeah. Swing around the outside curve.
I'll have to check the hook. Well, the technique's still working. You know, it's getting a little later now. It's about 6:40. Still have the emergers out there. Still sinking them down. Plugged another one. We've lost a couple already. Got a lot of backing on this thing. Oh, it's coming towards me. You've got to have large arbor reels here. Very important to have a large arbor reel. Oh, look at him just dancing on the top. Oh, cow. Look at him coming in. He is not happy. Well, what I'm going to do is grab the net. He's got to be tired. Net here. Oh, look at that fish. That's a daddy. Look at how fat he is. Oh, there he is. Oh. Alright, let's get the fly out of this guy. Again, he took the emerger right on the side of his mouth, right on the top lip. Hold on here, there. Look, he's ready to go. I just want to show everybody. But he
it looks like.
Oh, look at that. Is that a dandy or what? That's at least 20 plus inches. Look at how fat. That is Columbia River rainbow fishing right there. Oh, gee, there he goes. Just gone. Well, you know, we've been asking Dwayne to show us the technique, actually, show you everything about it. So I'm going to hand you over to Dwayne. He's going to go through the recommended setup with you.
Yeah, today we're using an Aqualux line made by Rio. It's a 200 grain sinking tip attached to our floating line. Yeah, the sink tip line, what we're doing is we're trying to keep it in the seams, trying to keep the fly down, and we're just making passes around the eddy. And as the fly goes through the seams, it's down probably, I'm just guessing, maybe 8 feet, and the fish are picking it up below the surface. We're not seeing anything rise. The GLX rod, it's a GLX 6-weight, 9-foot, and the reel we're using today is IR4 LA, made by Islander, and it has a real fast retrieve, which works really well to catch up to these fish. What happens is they run towards the boat, and you have to catch up to them quickly, and this Islander and the Loomis setup works really well. But I think the key is this clear line is really doing the trick today.
Oh yeah, nice fish. Oh, a dandy. That is a beauty. Well, you're gonna have to measure him up.
Yeah. Barbless hook, you just pop out, just like that.
That was with our little emerger?
That was the merger.
Right on. Well, hold him up for everybody. Oh, nice fish. That's a beauty. How big's that guy?
5.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
for
6?
sure. You bet. Look at how nice that is.
He's thick.
Oh, what a fight. He just ran into the backing tons of times.
Right away when he hit, we knew he was a good one. There he goes.
Right on. Nice fish.
Daytime on the Columbia.
Well, let's get a few more, eh?
Okay.
All right.
He's got lots of fish, but he still give you a struggle, don't they?
Oh yeah.
So much the best part out here is to see the take. Again, right on top. Fish comes
He's coming at you.
and there's nothing better than see the fish take the fly.
Look at that. Look at the ripple.
One of the big ones.
Big cool.
Just one of the average size that you
The average
catch
size.
here. You know, you hook him, and as Don said, you just
One after the other.
gotta wait.
What was it, 5 minutes? Not even.
Oh, not even 2 minutes.
And,
I'm gonna get shot here.
barbless hook. Barbless hook.
I think I probably snapped them off again.
Ah, your fly's still there,
Oh,
but
fine, okay.
we switched to barbless this year, and it's a lot harder.
Well, it is tougher, especially in the currents, because these fish do move a lot.
Yeah, they move at you and around you.
What did he do to my fly? Kind of trash. Got on one of the old emergers now. Emergers are working, so I got one of the old guys on. Check it out on the website. The original caddis emerger that I think we tied up on the Columbia River show from, I don't know, how long ago was that?
Oh, 5, 6 years ago, yeah.
Catch lots of fish.
Finally back to my fly line. Oh, this is another den. And you know, the nice thing is, usually you get the bigger guys hitting these because it's not quite on top, it's just underneath. The big guys are a lot more comfortable feeding under the surface until later. So you tend to get the bigger fish, and this guy looks like a decent one. Oh, he had me way into my back. He had me, man. Right in the corner of the lip. Barely hooked. Oh man, I'm gonna hold this fish up for everybody because this is another beauty. Let's just get the fly out first. Part of the left. This is the average size fish you're gonna catch in here. I mean, this tells you on what the Columbia River is all about. Right here, that fish right there. That is a beautiful fish. It's about 18, 19 inches long. Nice, thick, and healthy. What a great way that Dwayne's come up with to catch these fish. And there he goes with that emerging pattern. Unbelievable. Oh, you know what? Still got another hour before dark. We're gonna get some more. Oh. Alright, well you know what? I'm gonna try to hang on to this guy.
Yeah. Where'd you pick that one up at?
Actually,
Flat?
and another one's technique, good one good point Dwayne brings up. Because in the foam line, a lot of times early on, they're not going to come up and take the dry, right? They get a little finicky in that foam line. So just I'll put on an emerger that we have on, elk hair emerger. Let it sink down a little bit in the foam, just slide it back under the water. Instead of them having to come up and take it dry, they step on it wet. So it's a very, very effective pattern and use of the pattern. So what I do with this emerger is I'll actually fish it dry, and when it gets wet, if there's fish around, I just let it go wet, slide it through. Not much tippet on. Got a probably about 9 feet of the tippet. 5X. It's fairly light. It's just a nice little guy. One of the starter fish, I call him. Yeah. Want to just get our appetite out here. There he is there. Oh, little guy. Little guy. Well, that's pretty small for the Columbia. Still a lot of fun on a 4-way rod. I'll let you do the honors. I'll pluck them. I'll just take the hook out here. Got him on the emerging caddis. Very good pattern. You can fish it dry and wet. Really effective. There he is there. And there's the fish. Not a huge guy, but nice size. You can just pick him up there, Dwayne. Oh, there he goes. Alright, well, that's
Not so bad.
not a bad little fish to start. Yeah, I had one earlier. Grant's had a couple on, in that faster water. We have yet to actually hook one and hang on to him long enough, except for that little guy. Yeah. But you know what? In about 5 minutes time, right now it's what, 10 to 8? I'd say 10 minutes we're going to hook some 3-4 pounds, guaranteed. What do you think?
Sure, it's a little early, but we're starting. As they start rising more and more, we get more chances.
You betcha. So stay tuned. When we come back, big fish on the Columbia.
He's got a little guy.
Yeah, he's strong. He's strong. We got to keep the fly.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't want to damage that fly.
Well, we've upped it. When I started, I think I had about a 4-pound test on it, and I snapped the first fish off, which was a nice fish.
We're running low on the good pattern.
And as typical on the Columbia in the summertime, one of the fun things to do if you've never done it, never experienced it, you want to come out and stay out until like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. It's just the best.
It's a great way to beat the heat.
Yeah. Well, you see the show that we did here a few years ago when we had to use the lights after we hook up the fish, we had to put the lights on in order to see what we were doing. Yeah, a little guy. We've done shows where that's been by far the biggest fish we've caught.
Is that right?
This is a little guy. Oh, I see how little. That's a nice fish. Oh, that's a dandy, Grant.
At least he's got to touch him this time.
Yeah, Granny got him to the net. Yeah.
It's one of those days. Yeah. You know? It's just one of those days. But they are really starting to come on right now. So, get my fly.
Yep, here it is.
Free shake and bake them. You gotta have shake and bake. You don't come out in the Columbia, or if you're coming out, make sure you have shake and bake. If you don't have shake and bake, don't bother coming out, because if that fly's not sitting up nice and high and dry, forget it.
One of the best flies you're going to use on the Columbia River during the summer is this pattern that I'm about to show you, and it's called the Columbia caddis. Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. We're going to tie using UTC 70 black thread. We'll use an R72 Mustad size 16 hook. We'll use some golden olive antron for the shuck, some black antron yarn for the body, a black neck hackle for the hackle, and some bleached yearling elk hair for the wing. The first step in the fly is to take our black thread and wrap on a good base and end the thread at the rear of the hook. Now I've taken some golden olive antron, and it's a very, very shiny material. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it. I'll actually roll it into a small ball and wrap it in. And then I'm actually going to take the section I just tied in and bring it over, and that's going to form the trailing shuck. And what you want to do is, after you tie in this antron, is you want to pull it apart to form a nice small trailing shuck. And make sure you pull it off. Don't cut it, pull it, because you want this to really feather out and look like a trailing shuck off the end of the fly. Once the tail's tied in, I'm going to take some black antron yarn, and this is a yarn, and it's a lot more tightly woven than the antron fibers. And we're going to tie it in, and this will be used for the body a little bit later. When selecting the hackle, the most important thing is to make sure the fibers are about as long as the hook gap. So once you've selected a hackle, we're going to tie it in at the rear of the hook, and this will be wound up later to form the hackle on the body. Now that the hackle's tied in, I'm going to take this black antron and slowly move forward. And the real nice thing about this black antron is it shines, and it also stays really nice and flat. We don't want too big a body here. And we'll just tie that antron off at the head. Now take some hackle pliers and hook it onto our hackle, and we're slowly going to palmer our hackle up the body, and we're going to take about 3 to 4 turns. We don't want too much hackle on this fly, just enough to help it float a little bit and give it the look of legs. What I've done is taken some yearling elk hair, and this is real fine elk hair, and I've stacked it. So once our fibers are all nice and stacked, I'm going to take the wing, place it on the hook, and make it just extend past the actual hook shank, probably maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And then we're just going to tie it in at the head. Take a couple loose wraps first, and then tighten down and take a few tighter wraps. And that way that'll just flare that elk hair real nicely. Move in front of the eyelet and take a few wraps there, and that's where we're actually going to tie off. Don't trim the head quite yet. So what we're going to do is actually do our whip finishes in front, just by the eyelet. Do some whip finishes there. Trim off your thread, and then actually take out all this material on the very head of the fly, and we're going to trim this into just a real nice small head on the front. And just trim that off. And you get a real nice little head on the top of the fly. And there it is, the finished Columbia caddis. Now, if you ever want to fish the Columbia during the summer, this is definitely a must pattern. It's really essentially a dry emerger. It mimics a fly that is in that adult state that's ready for takeoff, but is still trapped in the emerging shuck in that surface film. Here's another nice one, and you know what? I've changed the hook, so I'm not going to lose this one, I hope. I have in the past, but this one looks like a nice average size again, probably 18 to 20 inch fish. All the rainbows in here are quality fish. You know, the biggest ones you're going to get, one I got last week was about 27 inches, close to 7 pounds. That's probably on the large side for the dry fly.
Yeah, right.
And then the average, you're probably going to get the, what, 18?
18.
Probably the average? Yeah, which is just outstanding, and there's lots of fish in here, lots of it. I think he's one of the smaller guys. Yeah. Still nice. I mean, anything great to get on a dry fly. We switched over to the emerger. It hit the witching hour, what I call the witching hour. It's around just at dusk. Just when the sun goes down, it just kind of gets dusky. All the fish slide into the foam line and start feeding, and they start taking bigger patterns. This guy here got sucked in by one of our emerging caddis patterns, which can be fished wet or dry. Real nice, healthy rainbow. Beautiful fish though, eh?
Nice color, fat, quality.
Healthy.
Very good.
And off he goes. All right. Well, now's the magic time of night. This is what the Columbia is known for. Right at dusk.
Yeah, it does.
You get all the big guys coming up, sipping on all the caddis that are hatching, some of the mayflies that are coming off.
You can have a real good opportunity to catch a big fish in a pond like that.
Big. How big? What do you think?
4 or 5 pounds.
Well, that one that I caught last week, literally, was from my fingertips up to here and fat. 27-inch, big fish on the dry fly. Can't get that anywhere else in the world, can you?
They're here.
They're here, right here in the Columbia.
Yeah.
Well, let's get another one.
Okay. Let's do it.
Dwayne got me back out in the current. We just let that emerger just float along the seam again. Bang. It's almost unfair. You know, I find it should be illegal. We're picking up so many fish. But it's a great technique, and you gotta try it. And again, this would work in any big water, any big body of water, any other river that has seams like that, where you can just hold the fly in one specific spot. That's the big key, is making sure that the fish can see the fly and it's sitting in front of them. And if you know where the fish are, you're gonna catch them. Oh man, now he's running back towards me. I'm gonna have to strip. Oh gee, I'm on my back. Oh man. Oh man. Had to catch up to him. Well, I finally got all my line back up. Whew. That was quite the hike. Oh, it took me well into my backing, at least 100 yards in. I have 150 yards in my backing. And he went way down there. Again, a nice sized fish. Another clone. They're just all clones in here. And then you get the real big ones. 7-8 pounds in the dry, which we've had. But this is kind of the clone size. They sky all over. They just go crazy. Oh, another clone. Look at that. Oh, there he is. Fly just kind of stuck in the corner of his mouth. Again, we'll just unhook it. There it is there. And another nice rainbow. Look at that. Another beauty. Look at that. That is just awesome. Isn't that a beautiful fish? There he goes. Down he goes. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching today. You know, I really want to thank Dwayne for showing us that new technique. Real nice of him to show us. It's one that he kind of thought about, well, I don't know if I should show everybody, but he did. Again, thanks a lot. And also, this river. You know, you just can't beat the Columbia. We talk about it all the time. It is a world-class fishery, and if you've never fished it, make sure you give Dwayne a call. Mountain Valley Sport Fishing and Tours. He'll take you out here and show you a great time. When you do, though, conserve our waters. Get a great fishery like this one here. It is big water. Take care when you're on it. And we'll see you next time when we take you sport fishing on the fly.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by G. Loomis. Quality graphite fly rods. You will like what you feel. And by Islander Reels. High-performance precision fly reels, Canadian made. And by Superfly, for all your fly tying and fishing needs.